Yo, what is up, Leo? Welcome, guys. So we're gonna be doing a live stream here. It's been a while, so I miss you guys. So welcome. If you're new, please consider subscribing. So we are gonna be doing 7 Moonlight summons live here today, which is very hype. Cannot wait for that. It's gonna be pretty cool. Let's go ahead and turn everything off. There we go. So. Just waiting for some people to jump in here. We got Lord Latika, got Eddie. What's up, Light? What's up, Kuzler? Father Sama. But yeah, again, we're going to be doing 7 Moonlights here. Let's go ahead and make sure we have everything set up. Summon. Yep, we're all good. We are ready to go. So this is going to be a very, very short live stream. So just to kind of make it not so short, that way you guys can actually talk and have a little bit of fun here. We're going to go over, you know, maybe some builds that you could do, some analysis of some of the characters that we pull. If we pull any dupes, we won't talk about them again, of course. But that's kind of what we're going to be doing here today. So it's going to be like an analysis / summoning video. So without further ado, because I don't want to keep you guys waiting too long, we're going to go in with the first Moonlight of the day. Let's go. So wish me luck. And if you guys want to summon along with me, I wish you luck as well. Alright. Come on, boy. Let's go! Okay, we got a 3-star starting things off. Who's it going to be? Okay, so we got Gunther. Now, Gunther has one of the higher stats in the game when it comes to base stats. I think it gets like over 17k CP. The problem with him is his damage does not scale properly. He should be, technically, if you look at his skills, he should be one of the hardest hitters in the game. But since we got the data on the skill multipliers, we've actually found out that he's actually not hitting to his potential that he should be. Maybe in the future they'll modify his skill multiplier or even give him maybe a specialty change to make him hit to where he should be, because he should be theoretically one of the hardest hitters in the game. And unfortunately, due to his skill set, he's not really going to be good for critical damage, but his skill multiplier is really where he's lacking. If his skill multiplier would have just been a lot higher, he would be an absolute beast of a 3-star, especially considering he's a Moonlight and he's only going to have a dark type weakness. So he'd have been really, really good otherwise, but man, his scaling is just so out of whack that he lacks that damage output that you'd like to see from a guy whose skills are basically saying he's going to hit hard, but he just doesn't. So hopefully he's definitely going to be one of those that gets reworked in the future or gets a specialty change or something. So keep an eye on Gunther. He might be good in the future, but for right now, he's just an internet meme. All right, let's go to the next one, guys. I'll get back to the chat after we do another summon. So just bear with me. We're going in. Number 2. Go gold, go gold! Yes! Yes! That's all we wanted, was at least one good 4-star. That was the goal here today. Ah! Ah! My soul. My soul. General Purrgis. Now, is this guy bad for PvP? No. Outside of PvP? Yes. This guy is a very good unit for PvP, though. His skill set, as you can see here, he's got Heroic Strike, Acquire 1 Soul, mows down enemies with a great sword with a 50% chance to provoke for 1 turn, and Provoke is very powerful. I think a lot of people underestimate the power of Provoke. Provoke can keep most healers and, well, really most Soul Weavers at bay. They won't be able to use their S2 and S3. They have to use their base skill. So Provoke is very powerful, and it forces that character that is provoked to attack him, and him only for that turn. So it is very, very powerful, Provoke is. So not a bad S1, of course. He's got Spearhead, which is a passive. Increase all allies' combat readiness by 10% when the caster is attacked. So if you put this guy in the front and build him kind of like a tank of sorts, he can get that combat readiness off for your entire team. So if you're needing if you really, really lack a CR unit, this guy could be a good unit for you, perhaps. You can, of course, get that up to 15% with skill enhancement. And then on his S3, this is where he's really good for PvP. He has Command to Charge, rather. It's a 6-turn cooldown with skill investment. You can take that down to 5. It does acquire 3 souls, and it does have a skill burn, or soul burn, which is skill cooldown decreased by 2. Kind of similar to Crimson Armin. Gives a command to charge, dealing damage to all enemies with a 75% chance of stunning 2 random enemies for 1 turn, increases attack of all allies for 2 turns, and you can get that effectiveness up to, I believe, 100% with skill investment to +4. Yes. So you can get that to 100% stunning for 2 random enemies, which could be really, really good for PvP, especially if you get that on rotation with some of the other units. Plus, he has that nice little attack buff for 2 turns, which is 50% attack for your entire team. So very, very cool. You know, he's not great, but he's not bad either. He's a decent unit. So we'll take that. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Yo, what's up, Andreas? What's up, Jay? What's up, Min? What's up, JD? Who else did I miss today? Run, Amir, King. What's up, everybody? I hope you can pull Stardust Dragon. That would be hilarious. What's up, Fort? What's up, TS? What's up, Ivan? Kisei, yo. What is up, Andre? I don't know how to say your name because I think it's in kanji, but yo, what's up? Oh my god, he said my name. Yeah, Paul. Alright, let's go do our third one now, guys. Number 3. Number 3. There's a 3-star. Who'd we get? Oh, we got God. That is not a bad pull at all. We got Church of the God Axe. Not too bad at all. Now, this guy, of course, is one of the better 3-stars in the game. He can do so much. He can armor break. I believe he does bleeding. Right? Yeah, bleeding on his S1 here. Attacks with an axe. A critical hit will inflict bleeding for 1 turn. He also has a specialty change, which makes his character design kind of look terrible, but he definitely becomes better. I just don't know why they made him fat. Well, I don't know. It's weird. It's like he went to training camp. I've said this joke a few times. God Axe went to training camp to become a wide receiver or a cornerback. He didn't make the cut, so he went back home, trained, and came back to play lineman. That's what happened in his specialty change. But anyway, so he's got bleeding on his S1. Very good. His S2 attacks all enemies with Shockwave, granting an extra turn to the caster. If an enemy is defeated, damage dealt increases proportional to the enemy's lost health. So this guy is very, very good. You can even soul burn that to do increased damage, and it's only a 3-turn cooldown with, of course, all damage on his skill enhancement. So very, very good. And then his S3, of course, which got reworked with a specialty change, is a 3-turn cooldown, which you can do a lot of damage on, and you can raise that effective chance up 20%, which would make it a 100% chance to decrease defense, which is, you know, what we call armor breaking for 2 turns. And it's very, very good, especially when it gets a specialty change on the S3, plus the skill tree investment. Such a good 3-star unit. That is actually a good pull. So far, this is our best pull of the day. We still got 4 Moonlights to do. We're still hoping to pull something amazing, though. Hoping for one of the good 4-stars or even one of the 5-stars. And you know who I'm talking about. But let's keep going. Very, very cool unit right there, though. Not going to lie, that's a good pickup. All right. It won gold. Yes. Come on. Come on. We got her. We got her. Yes. We got her. And I know Eddie and Run, I know you guys are hype about this pull because we were talking about this earlier. Let's go. Let's go. Nice. We got her. Challenger Dominiel, one of the harder hitters in the entire game. You get your crit stacked up and you get her attacks off, she is going to annihilate bosses on all stages of the game. She is very, very powerful. She's highly rated amongst, you know, a lot of units in the game. She's probably one of the top 10, I would say, in the entire game easily. Maybe even some could argue she's a top 5. She's very, very powerful. She has such high damage output and potential. Let's go ahead and go over her skills real quick. That is a big, big pull. I'm glad that we could do that. Everything else at this point is just icing on the cake, which is kind of convenient because today is one of my kids' birthdays. So it's perfect. Maybe that's the luck. Maybe the boy behind me is giving me luck. All right, so we got Electrocute, acquire 1 soul, attacks with electricity. A critical hit will increase damage dealt. He's got a soul burn effect, increases damage dealt. And then, of course, you can enhance that up to +5 and do tons of damage. Electric Charge. When an ally makes a critical hit, the caster's next attack deals stacked additional damage proportional to the number of critical hits, and their combat readiness increased by 10% per critical hit. And of course, you can take that up to an additional, looks like 30% damage, which is absolutely insane. That is where she gets her high damage output from, is her passive. And then her S3, 5-turn cooldown, which you could take down the 4 with skill investment, acquire 2 soul, supercharge, releases powerful electricity, increasing critical hit rate of all allies for 3 turns, and combat readiness by 10%. In case some of you are wondering what the critical hit rate increase actually is, it is plus 50%. So what does Challenger Dominiel allow you to do on your team? It allows you to focus more on critical damage and attack damage, and not critical hit chance. You can get your critical hit chance around 50-some%, maybe 60%, you know, just to be on the safe side. You're going to get that additional 50% from her S3, which is going to allow your team to crit like crazy. So that is absolutely phenomenal. And of course, the caster is also granted an extra turn. And of course, you can get that combat readiness up additional, it looks like 10% from skill investment. So if you invest in all 3 of her skills very, pretty much fully, plus 15 all the way, she's going to be absolutely disgusting on all phases of the game. So that is a massive pickup right there. That is actually pretty hype. So I'm pretty happy about that. Hope you guys enjoyed that pull. All right, let's go ahead and do our next one. And then after our next one, we'll stop, give some more shout outs to the peeps here in the chat, and then we'll wrap it up, because we have 2 more to do after this. So let's see what we can get. Anything else, like I said, at this point is icing on the cake. Okay, got another 3-star. Okay, we got a Sven. Sven used to be really good until they nerfed him, I think, a long time ago. This guy is very interesting. So this guy is good, but this is somebody that you have to really invest your resources in. And I mean, you have to really invest into his skills. If you have the Molagoras laying around, the Catalyst or whatever, and you absolutely do not have any use for them for anyone else, and you got Sven sitting in your box, you might want to consider investing into his skills, because if you invest into all of his skills, he actually becomes pretty damn amazing. But he is very expensive. So keep that in mind. If you want to build Sven, you got to go all the way. If you're not going to go all the way, then don't bother building him, because he requires you to go hard on his skill sets. We're going to go over that in a moment. So, Wicked Strike, acquire 1 soul, attacks with dual-wielded swords, and triggers an extra attack when the caster's health is less than 50%. Extra attack deals damage proportional to the caster's lost health and can only be activated once per turn. And of course, you can get that up an additional damage, you know, with +4 all the way up in skill advancement. Can't talk today. Skill enhancement. Now, this is where the magic happens for Sven. Potential, grant immortality and increased attack for 1 turn when the caster receives lethal damage. Can only be activated once every 8 turns. But if you up that to +4, you can take that 8 turns down to 4 turns. So what does that mean for Sven? He basically becomes immortal every 4 turns for 1 turn. Pretty much. So, or when he takes lethal damage, rather. So it could mean the difference between winning and losing a fight, but at this current stage in the game, I don't think that anybody really wants to go that extra mile with skill enhancement on Sven, unless you absolutely are wailing out on the game and you just are throwing stuff at people just because you want to play with them. I think otherwise you're probably not going to invest in his Sven, because like I said, he's going to be expensive to invest into, because you need to +4 his S2 no matter what to even make him useful. But if you do, and you put him with the right team comp, he could be absolutely disgusting. So, very cool there. And then, of course, his S3 is Capital Punishment. 4-turn cooldown, which you could take down to 3 with skill advancement +4. Acquires 2 soul. You can soul burn for increased damage dealt. Only consumes 10 soul, so it's only going to cost you 1 soul charge. Attacks all enemies, dealing huge damage proportional to the enemy's lost health. So this is a guy who doesn't want to fight first. He wants to fight maybe 2nd or 3rd in your rotation. That way, the enemies are already pretty much weakened, and he can go in and do more damage. So that's kind of his gimmick. Like I said, he's very cool, but if you want to play with this guy, you have to know that he's going to be expensive in terms of investment. Otherwise, you can't really use him to his potential. All right, so let's take a brief moment, read the chat, give some shout-outs, and then we'll finish off our last 2 Moonlights. So let's go over here to the chat. Got 96 people watching live right now. We're almost at 100, guys. Thank you so much for the support. I love you all so much. I'm glad to see you guys out here. I know I haven't streamed for a couple weeks, so I am happy to do that for you, and I hope you've all enjoyed so far. Now, I may miss some names, so please don't at me. I've already shouted out a lot of you already, but we got Christopher, Jeremy, we got Charles, looks like TRG, we got Leo. We already gave you a shout out, Leo. You got 2 shout outs now, bro. It must be your lucky day. We got Ron, we got Rev, we got, it looks like Seal. I hope I said your name right. If I did, I'm sorry. We got Brandon, we got Hybrid, we got Seal. So I welcome you all, guys. Thanks for coming out. Let's go ahead and do our final 2. Here we go. Let's see if we pull any more fire. That Challenger Dominiel is going to be hard to top. That is a hell of a pull. I don't think we're going to top it, but let's see. Oh! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No! Yo, another General Purrgis. All right, so we're not going to review him because we already did. So let's go to the final one. Here we go. Summon along with me. If you guys are playing any kind of gacha game or any kind of game that allows you to summon, pull, or anything like that. If you guys are playing even Duel Links and you're trying to get that lucky top deck, hopefully you can get that top deck you need for victory. Let's go. It doesn't matter what you're playing. We're all going in together. This is our final one. We're going to go out with a bang. Hopefully we broke 102 viewers today, guys. So big shout out to all of you. Give all yourselves a round of applause. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Thumbs up from me to you. Here we go. Last pull of the video. Come on. Can it be hype? It's going to be a 3-star. Hopefully it's a different 3-star than we already had. I like new ones. Oh, we got Adelie. Okay, so that's nice. At least, well, besides the Purrgis, we didn't pull any dupes. So we did get 6 different Moonlights out of our 7 pulls, which is actually pretty phenomenal. So let's go ahead and talk about her skills. I'm not as familiar with her as I am other Moonlights because I don't really hear her name come up all that often. She looks kind of like the female version of Haste, which is really interesting. But let's go to check out her skill set real quick. So she's got Dark Arrow, acquire 1 soul, attacks with Dark Energy with a 35% chance to make the enemy unkillable for 2 turns, which would be really good if you're trying to farm Golem, for example. So you don't got to deal with the pesky tree. You can just auto it and not have to worry about it. It looks like you can get that up to 50% with skill investment. Her S2 is Area Defense. Looks like a passive. Decreased damage received from AoE attacks for all allies by 15%. When this effect is granted more than once, only the strongest effect is applied. And it looks like you can take that up even higher, which is very interesting. It looks like an additional 5%. So you can actually take minus 20% less damage from AoE attacks. That's actually pretty... That could be really good for PvP, because there's a lot of heavy AoE hitters in PvP right now. That could actually be pretty cool, actually. Not a bad PvP defense unit at the very least. And it could be good in even some areas of Abyss and stuff like that, where the bosses like to do a lot of area of effect damage. So that's pretty cool. And then her S3 with skill cooldown is a 3-turn mana release, acquire 2 soul, has a soul burn effect, consumes 1 soul charge, skill cooldown is decreased by 2. That's pretty crazy. It goes down to a 3-turn cooldown with skill investment, and then with soul burn, it brings it down to 1. That's actually pretty insane. Exhales powerful darkness, decreases combat readiness by 25%, and making the enemy unable to be buffed for 2 turns. So an anti-buff S3. Okay, well, she seems a little bit underwhelming, but I could see where she could have some of her uses. But, I mean, she's got some assets for you fellas out there that are interested. But anyways, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. We broke 100 people today. I gave a lot of shout-outs. I'm glad you guys could all make it. Hope you enjoyed that. If you want to recap, our 2 hypest pulls were God Axe and Challenger Dominiel. So for those of you who are watching later and not live, please subscribe if you're new. And if you are new here live, I thank you so much for being here. As always, please hit that like button if you did. Comment below if you're watching later what you guys think. If you pulled anything when you were watching the video, let me know all that and more. And I'll catch you guys in the Discord, which you can find in the link in the description below. Until then, catch you all later. Have an awesome day wherever you are. Peace.